Test, 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 test. Test, test. And welcome in, Night Nation. As we should be live, we apologize for the technical difficulties we had in the first part of our first quarter. It's a 6-0 Lake Norman Charter lead as West Columbus running around looking for some space. It's third down, and they will be rushing it. Looks like they'll get past the sticks. As just making sure we're all good to go. Had some Wi-Fi issues to start off our evening, but looks like we should be good for the rest of tonight.
West Columbus, 1st and 10 from the Knights, 33.
Lake Norman Charter got things started off with a big play from Major League on the first play of the game by way of David Wignut, the second-year quarterback. Still trying to get everything situated for you guys. On first down, West Columbus gets a good gain.
To Sean Murchison.
As
Tackled by Knights, number 4, Drew Johnson.
the tackle by Drew Johnson right there.
2nd and 3 from the 36.
6 minutes to go left in the first quarter of play. On second down, West Columbus running around. They rush the ball. Now they'll hit the outside as they'll pick up the first down. That one was from Sean Murchison, the 5'8", 190 junior. The junior Sander Griffin gets yet another tackle on this drive. Stepping up this season with some losses on the defensive side of things.
West Columbus, first down. First and goal. I'm sorry. First and 10 from the Knights 19.
Now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights 19. They'll get set. It's 5:26 left in the first quarter. As this game at 6 o'clock start time, with West Columbus being a very far drive from Lake Norman Charter High School. The first ever meeting between these two teams.
Sander Griffin once again on the tackle for the Knights. Pick up 2, 2nd and 8.
Sander Griffin on the tackle once again. Sander Griffin on the tackle once again. It's a 2nd and 6 for West Columbus. They'll drop back. They'll be passing, looking around, and they've been wanting to run tonight, and they'll go. A flag down on the play. Stopped him at the 2-yard line. The Knights pick it up. It's a fumble. They'll be going the other way. Cuts back in 45, 50. This one's going to be a long one. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Lake Norman Charter. A long score from the Knights. They will hold a 12-6 advantage. It's going to be 12-0. As what a play that was. As I believe the flag on the play was a holding call on West Columbus. And in fact, it will be a touchdown for Lake Norman Charter. 98-yarder. Drew Johnson, the track star junior, recovers that one and takes it all the way. So the Knights will be going for two. They haven't even practiced an extra point all season long. They'll be going for two every time they put one in the end zone. So West Columbus, they allow a touchdown on their first play on defense, and they go down driving in the red zone. But Drew Johnson picks the ball up off the floor and takes it 98 yards. .425 left in the first quarter. David Wignut with no backs in the backfield here on the second down conversion play. He'll roll out to his right, and he'll try to take it himself. Easy enough for the senior. 14-0 lead in favor of Lake Norman Charter.
2-point conversion is good. And the Knights take a 14-0 lead. 4:20 left in the first quarter.
As we thank you for everybody for joining us. We got off to a rocky start. Some internet difficulties here at Lake Norman Charter, as that might be why the camera quality is a little less than usual, but nonetheless, we're making it work. Mark Veman will kick it off for the Knights.
Number 2, Tony Jordan. Number 3, Damon.
Tony Jordan and Damon Williams, a junior and a senior back there to receive for the Vikings of West Columbus. Veman will kick it off, a wobbly one, and it'll reach about the 10-yard line. West Columbus will return it. Going to the outside, and he'll be swallowed up. That Knights special teams unit doing a very good job on both kickoffs.
18-yard line, tackled by the Knights. Number 27, Keegan Aldridge. Number 11, William McDonald.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for this
10
West Columbus offense.
From their 19.
The first down play from Graham picks it up about 5 yards.
Pick about 5 on the play. 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings.
Now 3:40 left in the first quarter. West Columbus, what a year they had last year under Lamonte Williamson. Went 12-2, made it to the 4th round of the 1A playoffs. Their best year since 1976. A run up the middle again from West Columbus. That goes nowhere, only picks up a yard, and will leave him with a 3rd and medium.
Christian Norton tackled by the Knights, Logan Freight. Number 8, Evan Johnson.
The sophomore Logan Freight and the senior Evan Johnson both in there with the tackle.
3rd down and 4 for the Vikings.
3rd and 4 for the Vikings. A big 3rd down from them. Don't want to stall out here, especially in your own side of the field, down 14 in the first. Another handoff from the Vikings. They'll take it up the middle again. They'll be short. The ball's on the ground. And the Knights have recovered. Back-to-back possessions from West Columbus end up in turnovers. And the Knights say thank you very much.
Number 9,
Mason Leak with the fumble recovery, and they'll get the ball and their own side of the field. So quarterback David Wignut goes out for a second drive. Didn't have to do too much his first time, just kind of threw up a 1v1 to Major League, and he'll win those balls about 90% of the time. The Knights will have 2 to the near side and 1 to the far side. 1 tight end, no backs in the backfield for Wignut. A very similar formation to what we saw them run to get that 2-point conversion. They'll hand it up the middle and be swallowed up. That'll be the main man for that West Columbus defense, Ryder Haynes. He returns with 172 tackles from last season. That's 9th most in the state of North Carolina. Very easy to see on that West Columbus defense with those neon green Grinch cleats he has on. And a middle linebacker, but always comes up to the line of play to get involved.
2nd and 14.
The Knights backed up 4 yards. It's going to be a 2nd and 14. Wignut with the 2 wing backs. No backs in the backfield. A snap is low. He'll pick it up off the ground. He's going to have to roll to his left. A flag is on the play, and he'll toss that one into Dorian Morgan to the 25, 15, maybe a block in the back. And it looks like 2 fouls are going to be there from the Knight, both a holding call in the backfield and a block in the back. So it looks like we'll see which one West Columbus decides to choose. Probably the block in the back.
Holding Knights. They'll take the second hold.
As the Knights student section chanting, "Take his whistle," but that one pretty obvious for those officials we have tonight. Clock's at 1:48 here in the first quarter of play. Lake Norman Charter with a 14-0 lead.
Penalty brings the line of scrimmage back to the Vikings' 45-yard line.
And they'll be way back at their
2nd and 25.
45-yard line of West Columbus. A 2nd down and very long. And it looks like West Columbus jumps offside, so the Knights will advance up 5 yards. And now to the 40-yard line. So going back and forth with these penalties.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Still 2nd down and very long for this Knights offense. The snap to Wignut, a little bit low. He'll roll out to his left. Fires a cross body. Dorian Morgan's wide open. He'll get at the 20. Good juke move down the sideline. Touchdown Knights. Dorian Morgan put him in the spin cycle and twisted him up like a pretzel. The Knights will hold a 20-0 lead. What a start to their campaign. An exciting game this has been already if you're a Lake Norman Charter fan. As we'll see them go for 2 right here, put the ball in the left hash mark. We saw this last time from the Lake Norman Charter offense, and David Wignut just kind of rolled to his right and strolled into the end zone. As the 2-point conversion will be no good from LNC. As Chase Gentile had nothing to go with in the middle. So the score will stay 20-0.
Dorian Morgan, the Knights take a 20-0 lead. 1 minute left in the first quarter.
One minute left in the first quarter of play now. As Mark Veman will kick it off. once more.
Mark Beeman for the Knights. He'll kick off to number 2, Tony Jordan. Number 3, Damon Williams.
The special teams unit out there for LNC. Veman lines up about 9 yards away from the ball, standing at the 40-yard line. The refs blow their whistle. And Veman sends it away. A low kick could be bounced. It'll be tough to handle for this West Columbus offense. And they'll finally get it, run it to the 30. Cutting outside, a good return right there. And right to the 31 from Ethan Matheson. The freshman, Tiger McKindy, on the tackle. As you see a lot of freshmen on the special teams unit, both for punts and kicks. I was talking earlier today to the special teams coordinator, Garrett Norris, for the Knights, just saying those freshmen really want it, and they're willing to kind of go 110% down the field. So West Columbus comes out again. It's been 2 drives, 2 fumbles for this Vikings offense. They'll go back. The pass rush coming. A pass across the middle, and that will be caught at the 45. A catch right there from number 3, Damon Williams.
Damon Williams is complete. Brought down by the Knights, number 34, Logan Freight.
And the Vikings will move it up.
Line of scrimmage, the 45-yard line.
The clock nears 30 seconds in the first quarter of play. Jordan motions it over. Drop back, looking for somebody, nobody. The Knights are getting to him. He'll roll out to his right, tucks it, and will get taken down. DJ Graham ran out of space, and a round of Knights took him down, led by number 8, Evan Johnson. Johnson, a member of the LNC Sports Network, and got his first sack of his 2024 campaign, and that'll be all for the first quarter. The Knights are up 20-0. We'll be right back from the LNC Sports Network in just a moment. Welcome back into Lake Norman Charter High School as the Knights hold a 20-0 lead over the West Columbus Vikings. I'm Zane Metz. Thank you for spending your summer Friday evening with me. It's been a fun one so far for the Knights. A long play on the first play of the game by Major League got him on the board. Drew Johnson returned a fumble for 98 yards, and then Dorian Morgan with a 40-yard touchdown pass accounts for the 20 points from Lake Norman Charter.
Be a 2nd and 15.
So the field will switch, and West Columbus will start the second quarter of play from their own 39. As this game was a 6 o'clock start instead of the normal 7 o'clock, with West Columbus being a 2.5-hour drive from Lake Norman Charter High School, probably more like 3 on a bus. So they allotted for the 6 o'clock start instead of the usual 7. As that sun is just beaming right at our camera, that's why it looks kind of bleached out. We apologize for that. Possibly a false start on the West Columbus offense.
Procedure call against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Being a 2nd and 21.
So that back him up 5 yards, and now it's a 2nd and 21 for this Viking offense. 2 to the near side, 2 to the far side. DJ Graham, the 6'1", 185 sophomore, and at quarterback, he'll drop back, looking to throw over the middle, almost intercepted. And it'll be a 3rd and long. Looked like Evan Johnson maybe got his hands in the passing lane.
And 21.
So now 3rd and a mile for the Vikings. They'll line up 1 to the near side, 3 to the far side, 1 back in the backfield. Need a big 3rd down conversion here, as they're already down 20 points. 1 will motion over, and yet another whistle on the play. Another false start from this Vikings offense. So they'll go back another 5. And that 1st down marker looking ever so distant for West Columbus.
5-yard penalty against West Columbus. 3rd and 30. Graham back.
A 3rd and 30 for the Vikings. Rolling going to the middle, try to scramble for it. Nothing going there, as Graham's helmet pops off for the 2nd time this game. And the sophomore Logan Freight with the tackle.
Short of the marker, 5-yard gain. It'll bring a 4th and 20 for the Vikings.
So now 4th and forever for the Vikings, and they'll have to punt it. Drew Johnson, the kick returner, already took back that fumble earlier tonight and looking to make another big play.
Ethan Matheson in punt formation for West Columbus. Back for the Knights, number 4.
Ethan Matheson will boot it off for the Vikings.
Flag on the play.
And yet another flag.
Delay a game.
As delay a game from the Vikings, they'll back it up another 5 yards as the penalties just keep racking up for this Vikings crew. Matheson, the junior, will try once again to send this one away. Johnson standing at his own 35-yard line. And he's an exciting player when he gets it. That one booted up, doesn't go very far, as it'll land around the 50. And it'll be down at the Knights' 48.
Lake Norman Charter starts this set of downs. 1st and 10 from their 47-yard line.
So they'll be at their own 48. Great field position to add some more onto their tally.
Flag on the play.
As this Vikings defense has been no contest for the Knights tonight. And it'll be holding on Lake Norman Charter, so they'll back up 10 yards.
Personal foul on Lake Norman Charter. Pushes the line of scrimmage back.
So
For the Knights, 34
now they'll be at their own 34. Thank you for joining us for our first ever high school football broadcast here on the Lake Norman Charter Sports Network. If you're watching now, make sure to follow us on Instagram at LNC Sports Network and subscribe to us right here on YouTube and turn on those post notifications to be alerted anytime we go live this football season. This is one of 6 home games for the Knights. It's going to be a fun year of football. Wignut will step up in the pocket and he'll throw over the head of Dorian Morgan, but with incompletion on first down.
Previous pass intended for Morgan falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
.951 left in the second quarter. Play it to 20-0 Lake Norman Charter lead here in Huntersville. The Knights lined up 4 to the near side, 1 to the far side. Possibly looking to pass it here on 2nd down and 10. The snap to Wignut is a good one. He'll drop back, looking towards the sideline, and it'll be open. Caught by Dorian Morgan at the 50. Jukes in, spin move. He says, "Get off me." And he'll eventually go down at the 50-yard line. What a game Morgan has been having so far. Had a 14-yard catch right there. Had the 40-yard touchdown earlier. Trying to step up in his junior campaign.
That'll be enough for another Lake Norman Charter. There you go. 1st and 10 for the Knights in the 49-yard line.
As the Knights have really been more willing to pass it so far tonight from what we saw last season. David Wignut stepped into that quarterback role kind of halfway through the season with some injuries and did very well, had 637 yards, 10 touchdowns, also had 214 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. As he started the year as a safety, actually led the team in interceptions. A true both sides of the ball guy for the Knights. David Wignut will throw a little screen pass to Morgan. Jukes one time, 45-40. He'll go down the sideline. First down, Knights. As this West Columbus defense just can't handle Morgan.
17 yards on the pass completion. That'll be enough for another Lake Norman Charter. 1st and 10 for the Knights at the Viking 34.
Looks like Morgan limping off the field a little bit. Hopefully nothing too serious. And number 15, Cam Simpson, will come in for him. And it looks like there'll be a timeout on the play.
Timeout, Lake Norman Charter.
As we want to say thank you to our sponsors, On Point Flooring. Contact them for anything of your flooring needs in the Lake Norman or Charlotte area. Our lead sponsor on our high school football broadcast and all of our broadcasts here at the Lake Norman Charter Sports Network. I want to say thank you for their support and helping us bring content to you guys. This West Columbus team, even though they did go 12-2 last year, they lost a whole bunch of guys. Their starting quarterback, top 2 rushers, top 7 receivers, 4 of the 5 top tacklers, 2 top sack getters, and 2 top DBs. As it's a whole new ball club this season for the Vikings. And maybe kind of letting it show early on.
It resumes, it'll be Charter ball. 1st and 10 from the Viking 34-yard line.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights in their own territory. Wignut steps back, good blocking. He'll fire it across the middle. That'll be caught at the 20, cuts in. It'll be swallowed up by number 10, Ethan Matheson, but yet another first down for Lake Norman Charter, and now they're in the red zone.
That's complete to number 15, Scott Mahoka.
As that one caught by Cam Simpson.
And that'll be enough for another Lake Norman Charter. 1st and 10 for the Knights.
The Knights looking over to get their play call from
13-yard line.
Matthew Montroy on the home sideline. They're at the West Columbus 13-yard line now. .748 left in the second quarter. The Knights trying to extend their lead to 26. Wignut motions over Cam Simpson. He'll go to the far side now. Now 2 receivers over there, none to the near side. Wignut gets it, takes the handoff, looking to pitch it, taking himself, jukes it back inside. It looks like Wignut will get down to about the 5-yard line.
Wignut scrambles, met by a number of Vikings.
The Knights can pick up a first down without getting into the end zone. It'll be 2nd and very short, about 2 yards for Lake Norman Charter.
Long one. Line of scrimmage, a 4-yard line.
As kind of a point of emphasis with this was this offensive line going into tonight. A lot of new starters, 4 out of their 5 starters being new on the offensive line, but they've been able to keep up and keep Wignut protected in the pocket. Here comes the snap, handoff inside, and Chase Gentile will be swallowed up in his own backfield.
By number 34, Sam Battle.
Sam Battle on the tackle for the Vikings. And now it'll be about 3rd and medium.
3 on the play. Looks like a 3rd and 5.
Keegan Aldridge coming into the game for the Knights. Looks like he'll be lined up as a tight end. And the man to watch out for is Major Leak. The closest to your screen to us right here on a 3rd and medium. Snap to Wignut. Scrolling out to his right, looking for some receivers with fire, and it will be incomplete. Kind of a wobbly throw from Wignut, just couldn't connect in the end zone. And the Knights will be going for it on 4th and medium.
Incomplete. 4th and 5 for the Knights.
4th and 5. It's the second quarter, 5:45 left in the second quarter of play. It's a 20-0 Lake Norman Charter lead. The ball lined up on the left hash mark. And it will be a timeout from Lake Norman Charter.
Lake Norman Charter. 5:45 to go in the first half.
So they want to take a break and discuss things before this big fourth down play. We'll take a break with them. The Knights lead 20-0 here at Lake Norman Charter. We'll be back in just a moment on the LNC Sports Network. Back here from Huntersville, it's a 20-0 lead for Lake Norman Charter. It's a 4th and 5 in the red zone. Wignut will get the snap, fake the handoff, looking for a receiver. He'll fire, and it will be caught. Touchdown Knights. Dorian Morgan gets it on the tip drill. 26-0, Lake Norman Charter. David Wignut kind of threw that one blindly in there, hoping for the best, and Dorian Morgan came out with it.
David Wignut finds Dorian Morgan in a crowd. 9-yard touchdown completion.
A 9-yard throw. And the Knights are running away with this one. Ball lined up on the left hash mark here for the Knights. We've seen that pretty much every 2-point try so far. The play blown dead before it can even get started.
Offside.
And it'll be called an offside on the defense, so move it up half the distance.
Half the distance to the goal.
So that 2-point conversion now even shorter for Lake Norman Charter. Dorian Morgan lined up to the far side, Major League to the near side. The snap to Wignut. He'll hand it off inside, and the 2-point conversion is good. That one ran in by the sophomore Chase Gentile.
2-point conversion is good.
28-0, Lake Norman Charter lead. A very comfortable outing so far in their first game of the 2024 year. So Mark Veman will put the ball on the tee.
Mark Veman to kick for the Knights.
He'll be booted and off once again.
Williams
Tony Jordan and Damon Williams back for the Vikings. And Veman boots it away. A line drive kick. It'll be fielded at the 8-yard line. Taking it inside, now outside towards the sideline. It'll be out about the 27, the return from Damon Williams.
First and 10 from their 26-yard line.
So they'll start from their 26. As quarterback DJ Graham, not much luck so far tonight. Just really hasn't had much time to throw it. And has had to scramble out a lot. They will be running this one to the outside. And a pickup of not much from Xavier Tart.
Asher Church, Major Leak on the tackle.
Major Leak and Asher Church account for the tackle.
2nd down and 5.
It'll be 2nd down and medium for the Vikings. Clock now under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Been a very brisk game so far. Two to the near side, one to the far side. Williams motions over. The snap to Graham. He'll take it himself up the middle. Breaks one tackle. Keeps going. And will be down at the 44-yard line.
Pick up 12 on the play. That'll be a first down.
A good gain of 12 from West Columbus.
4-yard line.
Probably one of their longest plays of the day. Graham lines up on the left hash mark. Will take the snap. Being rushed, throws it deep. That one to Williams. And out of bounds. Major League wasn't even looking for the ball. He was just putting his hands up.
Defended well by number 6, Major League.
And it was defended well enough that Williams couldn't catch it. You're not going to break the press on Major League very easily on that outside, as he looked pretty much unbothered.
10.
Second and 10 now for the Vikings. Graham motioning over. The snap. A good rush again from the Knights. He'll take it up the middle, past the 50 to the 45, and out of bounds. Oh, and a punch thrown right there from Graham. That's going to back him up.
He'll pick up at least 12, but there's flags on
As
the play.
maybe some extracurricular activity from both sides. Mason Leak was trying to tackle him. Graham threw a punch. That's definitely going to back him up 15 yards. As it also looks like Graham probably needs a smaller helmet. We've seen a couple times tonight that thing fly off, and it was pretty close to it that time. So the ref's just kind of figuring out what the call's going to be here. .303 left in the second quarter. It's a 28-0 lead in favor of the home team. So the ref's still discussing it. As that's going to be something to look after, maybe blood boiling on both sidelines. Obviously, this West Columbus team, very frustrated. I mean, has been able to get some things going on offense, especially in that first drive, but fumbled it at their own 2-yard line, and ever since has been kind of the beginning of the end. Now facing a 28-point deficit. Both sidelines having a chat. Right now, the officials have the ball at the 48. As both sides just kind of wondering what the officials are going to decide here. You obviously have to imagine it's going to be at least a 15-yard penalty on DJ Graham with the punch thrown there. Or maybe just kind of a slap, but nonetheless an aggressive act.
Offsetting penalties.
And
Lake Norman Charter in West Columbus.
the officials are going to say offsetting penalties. So it'll be third and medium for the Vikings.
From the 48-yard line.
At their own 48. Need a big pickup here. 6 yards to get past the sticks, and the Vikings and head coach Lamonte Williamson will call a timeout. As we talked about earlier in the broadcast, I mean, losing a starting quarterback, 2 top rushers, top 7 receivers, a lot of changes on the offensive side of things for West Columbus. And kind of we're obviously seeing it so far. Gonna have to work through some kinks and iron them out. But right now facing a steep deficit. A team that only lost 2 games last season and made a very far playoff run. So both teams will break from the timeout. As we're just kind of waiting for that sun to get behind the trees, as that'll give you guys at home a much better picture of the field of play, as that sun is just beaming down right on us with the earlier kickoff time. A 3rd and 6 from the Vikings. Savage motions over. Graham drops back. He'll fire towards the sideline. That one's up, and it's picked off. Going back the other way, 40, 30, 25. He'll look for Graham. There'll be no match, and he will get it all the way. Pick 6 touchdown for the Knights. A 34-0 lead.
Shorter pass intercepted by number 21, Chase Gentile.
And the sophomore Chase Gentile takes it back to the house. A pick 6 for the underclassmen.
Interception return to the house.
That one kind of lobbed up by DJ Graham. Gentile said, "Thank you very much." And I'll put another score on the board for Lake Norman Charter. Knights going for 2 once again, as they haven't even practiced an extra point or a field goal yet. Wignut with no backs in the backfield. Morgan motions over. Looks like it'll be a delay of game on Lake Norman Charter.
5-yard penalty.
So they'll back them up 5 and make this 2-point conversion a little bit tougher on them. Wignut motions the offense over, and Major League will go to the far side. Wignut gets the snap, takes himself up the middle. A juke move inside, reaches for the end zone. And he'll be ruled short. Trying to make a Cam Newton-esque play right there, trying to reach the ball over the end line.
The quarterback draw.
but just inches short. The lead will stay at 34 for Lake Norman Charter.
Chase Gentile's 56-yard interception, though, gives the Knights a 34-0 lead. Second quarter.
Has quite the opening game in Coach Montroy's second year at the helm of the Knights. When I was talking to him in an interview earlier this morning, which you could check out on our Instagram at Sports Network, and talking to him after, he said he felt very good about this ball game, and high school OT predicted the Knights coming out in favor over the Vikings. And it looks like all but a formality that Lake Norman Charter will start things off with a W. Sent away from Veman. A good kick right there back to the 10. And that'll be returned from Williams. To the 20, 25, bounces it outside, running out of room. And will be tackled down at about the 43. So DJ Graham steps back onto the field after throwing a pick six his last time dishing out the rock. His first start at quarterback, the 6'1", 185 sophomore. And probably not going as planned. Graham will receive the snap a little bit low, but he corrals it. Kind of just looking around. The receiver's standing there. Graham just asking for some help. This Knights D-line gets to him. Sacked down at the 30-yard line. Number 8, Evan Johnson with the sack. That's my graphic designer right there. Evan Johnson led the team in tackles last year, averaging 10 a game, moves from a middle linebacker role more to kind of an edge rusher, and records his second sack on the evening.
Eight-yard loss will bring a 2nd and 18.
An 8-yard loss, and that'll be 2nd 18 for the Vikings. As when Graham gets that ball and he doesn't find his first read, it kind of looks like just the receivers are looking around waiting for something to happen. Graham will dish it out to the running back, and that will be dropped from Xavier Tart.
Screen to Tart falls incomplete. It'll bring a 3rd.
The 5'8", 190 senior couldn't corral the little wheel route. And it'll be a 3rd and a mile for the Vikings. The Knights look like they're playing cover 2 here. As we see Liam McDonald and David Wignut back there. Graham looking around, finds nobody. Looks like he's going to take it himself to the 35-40, and that's definitely going to be a holding call. Sandra Griffin was getting held. I mean, I could see that one from up here. And that's definitely going to back up the Vikings 10 yards. Griffin was doing everything in his power to get out of there. And that Vikings blocker just didn't want to let him go. It'll be interesting if the Knights accept the penalty and let him go for 3rd down again, or excuse me, don't accept the penalty and let him go for 3rd down again, or accept it and force him into 4th down.
10 yards from the spot of the foul brings the line of scrimmage to the Viking 29-yard line.
So they will accept it, and they'll be back to their 29-yard line. Another 3rd down and very long from West Columbus. 3 to the far side, 1 to the near side, 1 back in the backfield. Graham will receive the snap. Looking. Have to scramble out again. And he'll run up the middle to the 40, 45. Tries to make a juke inside. And tackled from about 4 or 5 Knights defenders.
DJ Graham scrambles, picks up 10. Tackled by the Knights, number 11, Liam McDonald.
The freshman Liam McDonald with the tackle. The clock under 40 seconds in the second quarter of play. A 15-yard scramble and a 4th and 5 from the Vikings now.
The 44-yard line.
It looks like they will be punting this ball. Kind of surprising with the deficit they face, but clock winding down under 15 seconds. Look like they're content to keep this game at 34. Now we booted back to Drew Johnson. He'll catch it at the 25. Let's see if he can make something work here. Shakes off a tackle, gets a block, 35, bounces outside. He'll reach the 50 and will eventually be pushed out of bounds at the 40 with 0.3 seconds left, so the Knights will be able to get off one more play before the halftime intermission.
$35, 36-yard return on the punt. Line of scrimmage for the Knights.
How about a 35-yard return from the junior?
From the 44.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 44, so it looks like David Wignet's going to have one play to air this one deep. We'll see what he can do with it. As now it looks like the backup Sam McMasters is in. And we also see Asher Church running onto the field.
And that's the first half.
And now be all for the first half of play. It's a 34-0 lead in favor of the Lake Norman Charter Knights. We'll be back after the halftime intermission here in Huntersville. And we're away in the third quarter of play. Mark Veman sends it off. It's a 34-0 lead for Lake Norman Charter here on their season opener. Number 3, Damon Wilson pushed out of bounds. That'll be a 1st and 10 for this struggling Vikings offense.
Tristan English making the play for the Knights.
It's a 34-0 lead for Lake Norman Charter. Sun going down and the view much better for you guys at home, as it was just shining directly on our camera earlier. Snap, and the throw from Grant's a little screen pass, and picks up a couple.
Williams pushed out by the Knights. Major League. Game of 2, 2nd and 8.
It's a 2nd and 8 for West Columbus after a 2-yard screen pass. And that one goes nowhere, tackled in the backfield.
Xavier Tart met for a loss. 54 is Henry Casey.
And
Loss of 3.
Henry Casey, the junior, with the tackle. 3rd and 11 for this West Columbus offense. Two to the far side, one to the near side. The snap to Graham. He's looking. No one downfield, but he'll chuck it anyways. Wignut looking for it, 50-50, and breaks it up.
Number 11, Liam McDonald.
And now it'll be a 4th down for the Vikings. You got to imagine they might want to go for it, but decide to punt, as this game may be kind of already out of reach and don't want to make things worse.
Kicking to number 4, Drew Johnson.
Drew Johnson standing at his own 40-yard line will be returning the kick. Had that fumble recovery for a touchdown earlier. Punted away. That's a wobbly kick on the ground. We'll get just past the 50 and we'll be downed at the 47-yard line.
First possession starting at the 47-yard line.
And going down on the sideline during halftime, I heard these starters just staying in until they score 40 probably and heading out for the rest of this ball game. Looking over for the play call. As the 1-2 combo of Dorian Morgan and Major League have been almost unstoppable tonight. Both of those receivers to the near side. Major League closest to us and Morgan closest to Wignut. Morgan will motion over. And Leak is on an island over there. Watch out for that. They'll go to Major League. He'll get it at the 50. He'll turn to the sideline. Breaks a tackle. 35. Cuts back inside. Gets 3 guys to get him down on the floor. Another Knights first down. And what a valuable asset Major League is. All you got to do is just get the ball in his hands in some open space, and he can make the defense pay.
At the Viking 30-yard line.
Now in enemy territory at the 30. Wingnut with the snap. Hands it off to Gentile. Nothing there for him. Tackled by about 3 or 4 Vikings defenders. As the sophomore Sam Battle was the first one to get to him. Now back him up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 15 for this Charter offense. Wingnut standing at the 40. The snap, and hand it back off to Gentile. He'll get a hole, gets to the middle, first down, tries to get a little more, and he will. Inside the red zone now. Chase Gentile had a pick 6 earlier. And 21 yards right there from the sophomore.
First and 10 for the Knights from the Viking 16-yard line. Flag on the play.
As some yellow laundry on the field from the officials after that run from Gentile. We'll see what the call is. As if you're joining us now, make sure to subscribe right here on YouTube to be alerted anytime we go live this football season. And follow us also on Instagram at LNC Sports Network on Instagram and on TikTok as well. We just launched our TikTok earlier this week at LNCSN on TikTok. Many ways to receive our content. First down and short now. The handoff back to Gentile. He'll take it inside, and he'll get to the goal line. 8-yard score for Chase Gentile. One on the defensive side of the ball, and now one on the offensive side of the ball. As the sophomore making an immediate impact in his first ever start. As it looked like the Knights kind of ran the same play maybe 3 or 4 times in a row, but as they say, ain't broke, don't fix it. Major league to the near side. Dorian Morgan to the far side on the island over there. Something to watch out for. No backs in the backfield for Wingnut. 2-point conversion on the way. They'll hand it back off to Gentile. Wingnut will take it himself. Will he get there? No, he will not. Stopped just short of the goal line. But that Charter lead is at 40. A 40-0 lead in the first game of 2024.
Veman to kick to number 2, Jordan, number 3, Williams.
Veman, probably that leg's getting tired now after how many kickoffs he's had to hit. No punt so far tonight, as Mark Veman also on the men's soccer team here at Lake Norman Charter alongside me. And Veman punts, gets it away. Be received at the 15-yard line. It'll be taken. Special teams unit doing a good job, but can't wrap them up. Now to the 35-40, goes to the sideline. A good return by Williams, but a flag on the ground.
Pushed out of bounds by number 35, Tristan English.
Pushed out of bounds by the sophomore Tristan English.
Holding receiving team.
And it'll be holding on the Vikings. Had a lot of penalties so far tonight. Add that one to the tally.
Line of scrimmage, the 27-yard line.
Evan Johnson rushing off the field.
1st and 10 for the Vikings.
1st and 10. The snap to Graham. Short throw, incomplete. That one
Pass intended for Jason Keel, incomplete.
intended for Jason Keel.
2nd and 10.
A very young group the Vikings have. I mean, just looking here, they have Jason Keel, who was just intended for that pass, a sophomore, and obviously DJ Graham, the sophomore quarterback, losing a lot of guys last year. And whole-scale changes for this Vikings group. It'll be 2nd and 10. Savage motions over. Graham looking for somebody, throws it up, and it will be incomplete. That one too high for Xavier Savage.
Incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
3rd and 10 now for the Vikings. So a 3rd and long here. Four wide receivers, one back in the backfield. Graham drops back. The pressure getting to him. He'll roll out to his right, looking for some receivers. Can't find anything. He'll chuck it deep. That one's deep. He has a man, but will be incomplete. Pass broken up from Major Leak. As it was intended for the junior, Ethan Matheson. Had him downfield, but too much loft on the ball. And the Lincoln Charter DBs were willing to get there. The Vikings will be punting it away. Ethan Matheson will be booting it off.
Number 4, Drew Johnson for the Knights to receive.
The snap to Matheson, boots it away. Bounces at the 45 and return from Johnson at the 40. He'll get to the 50. He has room outside 40, 30, 25. He's going to beat him. You're not going to catch up with the track star. A junior Olympian on the track and a star football player on the field. Drew Johnson takes it back to the crib. 46-0 lead for the Knights. Lake Norman Charter just piling it on with no mercy. What a day from Drew Johnson. Obviously had that fumble return for a touchdown and the kick return right there. Sam McMaster's now in at QB for Charter, as he'll take the snap on this 2-point conversion attempt. Some motion. And he'll hand it off up the middle. And Chase Gentile will reach the end zone. Add 2 to the tally. It's a 48-0 lead. Now we will have a running clock for the remainder of this ball game.
Takes a 48-0 lead on the 60-yard punt return. Drew Johnson.
Clock now under 5 minutes here in the third quarter. And Veman will send it away. A line drive kick, a good one right there to the 10-yard line return from Williamson. And he'll get swallowed up at the 30-yard line. Great work from the special teams.
Brought down by number 24, Sander Griffin.
And Sander Griffin, the junior, makes the tackle.
West Columbus Vikings start this set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 21. Thanks to Lake Norman Charter sponsor Social Pet.
So it's a 48-0 lead. Running clock for the remainder of this one. And DJ Graham, the quarterback for this West Columbus offense, has just had nothing to throw to all night long. As the Charter D-line giving him a lot of pressure in the secondary, giving him nothing to throw to. 1st and 10 at the West Columbus 20-yard line. He'll drop back looking for a receiver. Plenty of time in the pocket. He'll roll out to his left. He's going to scramble. And he will go out of bounds. A hard hit. And will pick up 5 on the first down play.
Graham picks up 4 on the keeper. 2nd and 6.
Eli Washington coming onto the field for Chase Gentile in the secondary. As it's turned out to be a beautiful evening here in Huntersville once that sun has gone down, very cool. Graham drops back, rolls out to his left. He'll throw it in the middle and almost intercepted.
Graham intended for Keel.
As it was intended for Keel,
Eli Washington,
but it was closer to Eli Washington.
Third and 7.
Now it's 3rd and 7 for this Vikings offense. Three to the near side, 1 to the far side. A back in the backfield. Snap to Graham. In the pocket, plenty of time. Now gets rushed. Running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He throws it up, nothing there. The Knights will take him down. This Knights defense has been smothering all night long. And Asher Church will be awarded with the tackle. Ethan Matheson now out for yet another punt. Cam Simpson will be back there to return it, though, instead of Drew Johnson, who took it back to the end zone as last time.
Vikings facing a 4th and 17 back for the Knights. Number 15, Cam Simpson.
Now 1 minute left in the third quarter. The punt to Simpson will not be returned, and it will roll to the Knights' 47-yard line. So they will start in their own half.
Start this drive in Viking territory. 1st and 10 from the 47.
And it looks like the second unit will now go out there for the Knights. Clock now under 30 seconds. That running clock just really speeds things up. And now the offense will go out there. Sam McMasters, who got probably about 1 or 2 starts at quarterback last year, now at QB, and that's going to be all she wrote for the third quarter.
Will run out on the third quarter.
It's a 48-0 Knights lead. We'll be back here for the fourth quarter in just a moment on the LNC Sports Network. Knights now with the ball. Sam McMasters rushes that one just for a couple. And it'll be second down and medium. As if you're just joining us, it's been an offensive display tonight for the Knights. They're up 48-0 here in their season opener. Handoff up the middle. And a gain, probably about one or maybe nothing, from Chase Roberts.
Xavier Tart in on the tackle. Sam Battle as well.
St. McMasters into the game, replacing the starter, David Wignut.
On the play, 3rd and 8.
So it'll be 3rd and long for this Charter offense. As they got things started off hot. First play of the game, a long touchdown score to Major League. And they have not looked back since. McMasters, some trouble. And he'll get sacked behind the line, a gain, a loss of 2.
Jonas Evans in on the tackle for the Vikings. Knights will lose 2 on the play, face a 4th and 10.
We'll see Mark Veman come out for the first time tonight. He has not been very busy at all with how productive this Knights offense has been. Has had a lot of kickoffs, but no punts yet.
For the Vikings to receive.
Troy Jordan, the 6'1 senior, back to receive for the Vikings. The snap is low, but Veman handles it. A good boom right there. That'll be to the 20, a great bounce. And that'll be to about the 10-yard line. What a punt from the junior, Mark Veman. Pins him deep and makes life ever so much harder on this West Columbus offense.
West Columbus will start this.
So the West Columbus Vikings backed up at their own 10-yard line. As we'll be right back here live next Friday night as the Knights will host the Phoenix of Winston-Salem Prep. Run up the middle. And a gain of about 1 or 2. As everything that could go right has gone right tonight for Lake Norman Charter.
Second down and 9.
Two safeties back, as the Knights have been kind of content with running man-to-man with those two safeties. That's going to be a handoff to the outside, breaks it to the 20, and will be pushed out of bounds by Levi Church at about the 25.
Christian Norton turns the corner, pushed out of bounds by number 7.
That will move the chains for the Vikings.
Pick up 10 on the play. That's enough for a West Columbus first down. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. 27-yard line.
A rare first down from West Columbus. But a new life here on 1st and 10. Graham gets the snap. A screen pass. And swallowed up about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. As any action they have really gotten on offense has either been through the legs of DJ Graham or kind of screen passes. Nothing going down the field for this Vikings passing game. Graham takes off and will pick up about 6 yards. Stopped by Eli Washington. That's going to be a 3rd down and long for this Vikings offense. 5:42 left in the 4th quarter. It's a 48-0 lead in favor of the Knights. Snap to Graham, handoff up the middle. That's going to be a first down, a little bit more. As the Vikings get it to the 48-yard line. A 22-yard rush. And for the first time since the first drive of the evening, the Vikings are moving the ball. Two to the near side, 2 to the far side. The snap is low to Graham. He'll take it himself, bounces it out to the outside, cuts back in now, and he'll get the first down.
Graham, 15-yard scramble. That'll be enough for a West Columbus.
And the Vikings moving the ball.
Line of scrimmage, the Knights 36.
Now at the Knights 36-yard line. As we're just happy that we're able to broadcast these games this year. We weren't able to last year, but made something work and able to bring Friday night lights inside the homes of the fans. Graham will take it himself as he's been using the wheels really well in this drive. Shakes off another tackle. It'll be yet another first down. He'll pick up 11.
First down for the Vikings. Line of scrimmage.
Clock now at 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Here in the fourth quarter, a very quick game with this running clock for pretty much the whole second half. And the Knights putting in their second unit, getting some underclassmen, some experience. Handoff up the middle. And a tackle right there. As we see Peter Ryan
And the ball carrier.
wrap him up.
Brian G on the tackle.
Eli Washington now coming in for Ethan Dixon. A wheel route will be caught. And will be a first down, a little bit more. And the ball comes out. Do the Knights recover it? They're saying that he stepped out of bounds before Damon Williams fumbled the ball, so the Vikings will have the ball on the 1 yard line.
Down to the Knights 1 yard line. It'll be first and goal.
We saw West Columbus on their first drive of the evening have the ball down to the 2 yard line, ended up fumbling it, and Drew Johnson picked it up for a 98-yard touchdown score. Clock now under 2 minutes. Graham will take it himself. One juke move inside, and we'll get a touchdown. And that's the first points of not only the night, but the season for the West Columbus Vikings. It's a 48-6 ball game now. The Vikings opt to have the ball in the right hash mark. Graham hands it off up the middle, and he will get there. Add 2 points to the Vikings tally.
2-point conversion is good.
It's a 48-8 game now. And more than likely with the clock at 50 seconds, that's going to be the final. The clock is stopped with the kickoff, though. And it's going to be a long bus ride home for these West Columbus players. I'd imagine had high expectations coming into tonight with what an incredible season they had last year. I mean, making it to the fourth round of playoffs, winning 12 games. But a poor showing against the Knights of Lake Norman Charter. .1 seconds left before the Knights move to 1-0 in the win column.
For the Knights, number 12, Dorian Morgan. Number 4, Drew Johnson.
Dorian Morgan and Drew Johnson back to return.
Number 7, DJ Graham.
And DJ Graham, who's been the quarterback tonight for West Columbus, will decide to take the kickoff. Graham earlier got a little heated and threw a punch, but tempers have not flared since. It'll be recovered by the Knights, and they will go down at their own 46-yard line.
Side kick fielded by the Knights.
And you got to imagine the Knights will be going into victory formation. Clock now under 30 seconds. As yes, that will be the ball game. Clock now under 15. And the final score from the season opener is the West Columbus Vikings 8 and your Lake Norman Charter Knights 48. An offensive display from the Knights. And the first game in year 2 under Coach Montroy is a big success. As 1-0 sounds very good, and especially when you do it in such dominating fashion. We want to say thank you for joining us and spending your Friday evening with me. Make sure to subscribe to us right here on YouTube. We'll be back next Friday night as the Knights host the Phoenix of Winston-Salem Prep. Have a great rest of your evening. Signing off, Zane Metz. Have a great rest of your night.